In the start of this chapter, we see that the fairy is trapped. Sungyun tells her that he heard that she likes mischievous pranks. He tells her that he too likes mischievous pranks. Sungyun destroys the tree with just his one finger. Fairy gets scared. Sungyun tells her that if she lets him use the maze shop, he'll stop here. Now, what's your decision? After that, we see that the fairy is free and there is a maze shop. Owner says to them, "Thanks for using the maze shop. If you just tell me your request, I'll send it to your inventory immediately, so come visit me frequently." Sungyun thinks, nice. Now everyone's not what they wanted from the maze shop. Sungyun goes toward the fairy and asks her to open the door to the 4th floor of the maze. She tells him that he can't go to the 4th floor without participating in a play where she tries to kill him. Sungyun makes a fist and asks her to not say that. She gets scared and agrees to him. She says, "If we make a subordinate contract, then I just need to transfer this maze's floor to your possession." Sungyun says, "This maze's floor is in my possession. That sounds good. Start immediately." Fairy is crying. System says, "You have entered a subordinate contract with the corrupt fairy, Aya. From now on, you can summon corrupt fairy, Aya. The protection jurisdiction of the giant tree maze's floor, the corrupt fairy's ruled domain, has been transferred to Challenger Sungyun. You may now freely traverse the giant tree maze's 3rd floor. Please set a new floor pass condition for the 3rd floor." Sungyun thinks, a new pass condition? Even if they come to the 3rd floor, they won't have ranked items higher than this, so let's go with this. Catherine asks him, "What did you set to be the new pass condition?" Sungyun tells her, "If they don't offer a C rank or higher item to me, they can't move on." System says, "You have obtained the maze achievement, Dominate a Floor, Unique. You have obtained 15 maze points. Skill Protector B+ has been activated." Fairy is still crying. System tells him that he has obtained the right to go down to the giant tree maze's 4th floor, so rewards will be given. Select 2 items, Authority, Skill, and recover 2 of your abilities. He unseals an Authority, Hero's Blessing, and an item, Heavenly Blood Demonic Sword A+. Sungyun sees his sword. There is something wrong. System tells him that the item's rank does not meet the standards of this floor. Until the 7th floor, the item's exclusive effects will all be sealed. Sungyun grabs his sword and thinks, that's unfortunate, but there's no helping it. Sungyun says to everyone, "Now that we've finished organizing, let's go down." Fairly asks him to take her with him. She says, "I can't play on the 3rd floor anymore, so staying here will just bore me to death. If you take me with you, I can make you a really good ego sword, and I can increase a sword's abilities by a lot." Sungyun tells her that he will call her if he needs her. Until then, she just has to wait here. She makes a sad face and says, "But I know how to do a lot of things, so mean." After that, we see the 4th floor. System says, "You have entered the giant tree maze's 4th floor, the Dark Region. This is a newly changed location due to the Dark Monarch entering the giant tree maze. There are monsters who follow the Dark Monarch, and currently, a Lich, one of the Dark Monarch's subordinates, is ruling this floor. Cut apart the enemies in your way and move down to the lower floor where the Dark Monarch is residing." We see one person running to talk to Lich. Lich's name is Carbit, and this person who came running to Carbit, his name is Lahart. Lahart tells Carbit that there are challengers on the 4th floor. Carbit says, "That's fine. Sir Berharg and his soldiers are protecting the entrance. No one has broken past the entrance before." We see Berharg appears there, and he is very injured. Carbit sees him and says, "Perfect timing." Carbit asks him if he has dealt with all the challengers. Berharg just says one word, and that word is run. Sungyun and his team are here. Sungyun tells them that he won. System says, "Authority, Sword Chi Master, has evolved into Authority, Burning Sword Intent." Carbit sees him and thinks, impossible. Sir Berharg, who's on par with me in terms of fighting. Sungyun calls Carbit and saying Skullhead and says, "I'm curious about something after fighting with the monsters here. Why is it that all of the monsters of the 4th floor have divine power?" Lahart gets angry and says, "Who do you think you're talking to?" Carbit is scared from Sungyun. He says to Lahart, "Imbecile. He is not someone you should speak down to. If you don't have a death wish, then be quiet." Carbit answers Sungyun saying, "That is because it is a grace bestowed upon us by the Dark Monarch." A prospective apostle who is staying on a lower floor. Sungyun says, he's a prospective apostle, but he has incredible power like that? Carbit replies, he only has that much power with the giant tree maze. Sungyun asks him, why does he gain so much power inside this place? Carbit replies, well, that is because this maze is where the gods compete. The giant tree maze is where many gods make challengers into believers and use them to compete. I'm afraid that's all I know. Sungyun thinks, that's a huge statement. So that's why the god of darkness altar was on the first floor. I don't know everything, but it seems that the challengers are fighting like the chess pawns for the profit of gods. I really don't like this system. I will rise to the top and destroy it. System says, you have obtained the maze achievement Truth, Legendary. You have obtained 100 maze points. Sungyun thinks that it's meaningless to ask anything else. Sungyun asks Carbit, so all of the monsters on this floor are receiving divinity? Carbit replies, correct. They are all elite troops who are receiving his divinity. These elite troop monsters are an incredible help to the Demon King's forces. Sungyun asks him to gather all the monsters who are receiving divinity here. Carbit gets shocked after hearing that. Sungyun tells him that he'll kill all the monsters. Sungyun kills all the monsters and now extracts all the divinity from them. Lahart is crying, saying that these monsters were all his masterpieces. Sungyun thinks, my necromancy has risen to B rank, and now I can absorb the authorities too. Catherine's is holding a wand. She asks Sungyun to look at it. Carbit tells that he gave his treasures to Sungyun's comrades. Catherine says to Sungyun, you can use several different attributes with this wand, which means you'll have superior synergy, regardless of the type of magic used. It will be incredibly helpful for you. Sungyun thinks, I've thought about this before, but she really does have a childlike quality to her. Sungyun says to Carbit, we're done now, so we want to go down to the 5th floor. Carbit asks them to follow him. They are going somewhere. Carbit says to them, if you keep going down this hallway, you'll see the entrance, but because the floor pass condition hasn't been released yet, you will have to wait. Sungyun tells them there's no need to wait. He kills both Carbit and Lahart and absorbs their spirits. He gets an authority after killing them, Evil Spirit Domination B+. System tells him that he has obtained the right to go down to the giant tree maze's 5th floor. He gets his rewards. Sungyun praised his teammates, saying, okay, good work on this floor. Let's go down to the 5th one. Catherine tells him that he did all the work. They entered the 5th floor, Hell Fortress City. This is a newly created fortress city due to the demons who entered the giant tree maze. This fortress city is not shared with challengers other than your team members, and it is a disconnected space of the maze. Catherine says, this looks dangerous, Sungyun. System says, kill the Dark Monarch who rules Hell Fortress City and move down to the next floor. However, if you are acknowledged by the Dark Monarch, you can move down to the lower floor without a cost. Someone appears there and says, challengers, you are besieged. Offer all of your items and show your sincerity. Catherine says to Sungyun, with this many demons, I think fighting all of them will be difficult. He activates his skill, Protector. A magic barrier has been formed around your protected targets, and all abilities have been increased by 1. Catherine says, wait, are you planning on fighting by yourself again? Sungyun says, I'm fine with anything, so you can just give me buffs. Also, don't leave the barrier. Demon asks him, are you planning on resisting? All of the monsters in Hell Fortress City are the best of the best. If you maintain order, we will both benefit. Sungyun says to them, this floor has the best of the best demons? No way. That's just what you think. He takes out his sword and System says, Authority skill, first mixed demon swords exclusive effect, dual consecutive hits activated. The power of the authority skill will increase by x4 through the consumption of divine power. Sungyun says to them, die, and starts killing them. He gets an epic achievement, Fall of a City. Sunghun says, the more I watch him, the more I notice how incredible he is. He already killed so many. He jumps towards the castle and thinks, it's obvious that's where the monarch is. Barrier has special authority that reduces all the damage to the fortress by 68%. Sungyun thinks that it's useless to him. He activates Burrowing Heaven skill and appears in front of the monarch. Sungyun says to him, you can rest easy. I'm just a law-abiding challenger on my way. This part ends here. Subscribe for the next part and just my Patreon for only $1 to support me more.